Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Dragon Empires, Dragonic Overlord, D-BT05, and I'm going to be using this Dragon Empires, Dragonic Overlord, D-BT04 deck as the base of the deck I'm going to build. Alright, let's get in, edit deck, entering edit deck, and here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Dragon Empires, Dragonic Overlord deck, made up of cards only available up until D-BT05. So first, let's go to Filter Settings, Pack, Show Only Cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush with the Legends, D-BT03, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT04, Awakening of Chakravarti, D-BT05, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, and Promo Pack number 1, Apply Filter. Alright, let's get started with the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3 this deck, we're playing Right Deck, Grade 3, Dragonic Overlord, Skills for Skill, Continuous as a Vanguard or Rear Guard. During the battle, this unit attacked a Rear Guard. Your opponent cannot call cards from their hand to the Guardian Circle. Second skill, Auto as a Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attack hits, cost, Counterblast 1, and discard a card from your hand. If the cost and paid, stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 till end of turn. So for Dragonic Overlord, it's one of the main grade 3s to run this deck. The first skill, whenever your Vanguard or Rear Guard Dragonic Overlord target attacks an opponent's Rear Guard, for that attack, your opponent cannot guard cards in their hand. Thus, this first skill is a good way to clear an opponent's field of front row Rear Guards by having a almost unstoppable attack on an opponent's Rear Guard from the front row with your Vanguard or Rear Guard Dragonic Overlord. And the second skill, whenever your Vanguard Dragonic Overlord lands a successful attack on either the opponent's Vanguard or Rear Guard, by paying the cost of Counterblast 1, discarding a card from hand, and reducing your Vanguard's drive check by 1, you can restand your Dragonic Overlord on the Vanguard circle for another attack. So for the second skill, it's a basic restanding skill for the Dragonic Overlord series. By landing a successful attack on either an opponent's Vanguard or Rear Guard, by paying the cost, you can get another attack from your Vanguard, making it easier to pressure or finish off your opponent with the increased attack and potential drive trigger. So for Dragonic Overlord, we got 4 on the deck, 1 on the right deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 3 Penetrate Dragon, Tribash, not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out. The Grade 3 Blitz Order, Wind of the Apocalypse, not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out. And for the other Grade 3s this deck, we're putting in the Grade 3 Dragonic Overlord, DN, Skills for Skill, Continuous as a Vanguard. During your turn, if your soul has a Dragonic Overlord, this unit's drive cannot decrease from card effects and it gets plus 5,000 power. Second skill, Auto as a Vanguard once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Cost, Counterblast 1, discard 2 cards from your hand. Stand this unit. It gets drive -1 till end of turn. So for Dragonic Overlord, the end is one of the other main grade 3s to play in this deck. The first skill, during your turn, as long as you've got the basic version of Dragonic Overlord in your Vanguard soul, during your turn, your Vanguard's drive check cannot be reduced by card effects, either by your own skills or by your opponent's card effects, and gets plus 5,000 power. So for this first skill, it's a good way to guarantee you 2 drive checks for the Dragonic Overlord, the end's 2 attacks, and to get plus 5,000 power, making it at least a 18,000 point attacker all on zone. And second skill, after attacking, by paying the cost of Counterblast 1, discarding 2 cards from your hand, and reducing your Vanguard's drive check by 1, you can restand your Vanguard Dragonic Overlord at the end for another attack. And so this second skill is another standard restanding skill for the Dragonic Overlord series, but the best part is this second skill can combo the first skill. Though if you don't have a Dragonic Overlord in your soul, you will lose drive -1 for the second attack. So as long as you manage to get the first skill active by securing the basic version of Overlord in the soul, not only can you have an additional 5,000 power, but the drive -1 cost will be cancelled out, guaranteeing you at least 2 drive checks per attack for your 2 Dragonic Overlord the end's attacks for that turn. So for Dragonic Overlord the end, we're putting 4 into the deck, okay? Next up, the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s this deck, we're playing Right Deck, Grade 2, Dragon Knight the Harlem, Skills for Skill, Auto, When this unit is ridden upon by a unit of Overlord in its card name, call this card to rearguard circle. Second skill, action is a rearguard once per turn. If you have a Vanguard of Overlord in its card name, cost Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, this unit and all of your Vanguards gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Dragonic and Harlem, it's the main grade 2 to ride this deck. It's first skill. Just by riding an Overlord on top of it, you can superior call a Dragonic and Harlem from your soul to the rear guard, securing yourself a potential front row attacker or a Dragonic and Harlem whose skill can support your Vanguard Overlord later on. Any second skill, as long as Overlord is your Vanguard, by paying the cost of Soul Blast 1, the Nehalem who paid for the skill and your Vanguard gets plus 5,000 power. So for the second skill, it's a good way to increase the power of your Nehalem and your Vanguard Overlord, making it a potential 15,000 point attacker from the front row and an increased power up unit for your Vanguard Dragonic Overlord. So for Dragon and Nehalem, we got one the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 Berserk Dragon, skill auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard Overlord in its card name, this unit gets 5,000 power until end of battle. Then cost Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's Grade 2 or less rear guards to retire it. So for Berserk Dragon, it's a support card for the Dragonic Overlord series. Its skill, whenever it attacks, while your Vanguard is an Overlord, not only does it get plus 5,000 power, but you can also pay the cost to retire an opponent's Grade 2 or less rear guard. So with Berserk Dragon, its skill can turn it into a potential 15,000 point attacker from the front row and a good card to let you wipe out your opponent's field of rear guards. So for Berserk Dragon, we've got 4 in the deck, we're leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 Steel Bullet of Duststorm, Ethan, skill auto as a rear guard. When your Vanguard's attack hits, cost, retire this unit. If the cost is paid, draw a card and countercharge 1. So for Steel Bullet of Duststorm, Ethan is a pretty powerful card to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks. Its skill, just by landing a successful attack from your Vanguard on either your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard. As long as you don't mind retiring Ethan from your own rear guard, you can not only draw a card, but to also refund your counterblast for your skills. So by my opinion, Steel Bullet of Duststorm Ethan is like a more powerful version of the Great One Dragon Monk Gojo, because unlike Dragon Monk Gojo's skill, which requires it to only be able to activate its skill by boosting a successful attack from your Vanguard, Steel Bullet of Duststorm Ethan's skill offers more versatility since it doesn't have any specifics other than having a successful attack from your Vanguard. So by my opinion, Ethan is a good card to refund your counterblast and increase your hand size, making it a more superior version to have in your deck over the Great One Dragon Monk Gojo. So for Steel Bullet of Duststorm Ethan, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 Flare Strike Dragon, not going to play this card anymore, taking it out. And in its place, we're putting in the Grade 2 Burning Horn Dragon, skills for skill auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, cost counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card Overlord in its card name, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, countercharge 1. Second skill, auto as a rearguard. When your Vanguard with Overlord in its card name attacks, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Burning Horn Dragon, it's another support card for the Dragonic Overlord series. Its first skill, just by calling to the rear guard and paying a cost of counterblast 1, you have the chance to look at the top 7 cards of your deck to add an Overlord into your hand. If no cards were revealed, you can countercharge 1. So for this first skill, it's a good way to not only secure your hand with a Dragonic Overlord to ride with later in the turn, or to cross ride with depending on which Overlord you add with the first skill. But the best part is, this first skill is refundable. In the off chance you fail to get any Overlords by the first skill's effect, you can then countercharge 1, thus refunding the counterblast that was used for the first skill. And the second skill, whenever your Vanguard Overlord attacks, your rear guard Burning Horn Dragon gets plus 5,000 power for each attack. So for the second skill, it will make your front row rear guard Burning Horn Dragon a powerful rear guard to attack with later. And the best part is, this second skill is stackable. For the Dragonic Overlord series, specializes in restanding and attacking multiple times your Vanguard. So the more times you manage to attack your Vanguard Overlord, the more power you can stack onto your Burning Horn Dragon, making this second skill a good way to build up more power and to give yourself a powerful front row attacker with the Burning Horn Dragon. So for Burning Horn Dragon, we're putting 4 into the deck. Okay, next up, the Grade 2 Purpurate Burner Dragon, skill auto. When this card is discarded from your hand during your battle phase, put this card into your soul, choose one of your units, it gives plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Perfect Burner Dragon, it's a pretty good card to play your Dragon Empire Nation decks, especially for the Dragonic Overlord series. For its skill, when it was discarded from your hand during the battle phase, instead of going to the drop zone, Perfect Burner goes to your soul and one of your units, your Vanguard Rearguard, gets plus 5,000 power. So, as I mentioned before in the Grade 3 lineup, all the Dragonic Overlord decks whose restanding skills require you to discard cards from your hand, this card is a good card to have in your hand to discard for the Dragonic Overlord's restanding skill. By being discarded, you can not only restock your soul for later Soul Blast, but to also give one of the remaining attackers some power to work with. So for the Grade 2 Perfect Burner Dragon, they're putting 2 into the deck. Okay, then next up, the Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1 to this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 1, Embodiment of Armor Bar, Skills for Skill, Auto. When this unit is written at the top of by Dragonic the Harlem, cost counter +1, search your deck for up to 1 Grade 1 card, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So the second skill, Auto, as a rear guard, once per turn, when your Vanguard deck hits, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for the Embodiment of Armor Bar, it's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. It's for skill, whenever Dragonic in the Harlem rides on top of it, by paying the cost of Counter +1, you can search your deck for any Grade 1 and add it to your hand. So for this first skill, as long as you got the Counter Blast to pay for the cost, you'll be able to search your deck for any Grade 1, securing you any specific Grade 1 you should use for your later game strategy. And the second skill, as long as you got Bar in the rear guard, whenever your Vanguard's attack hits on either opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, your Bar will get plus 5,000 power, allowing this skill to make your Rearguard Embodiment of Armor Bar a potential 13,000 point attacker from the front row or 13,000 point booster from the back row. So for Embodiment of Armor Bar, we got one the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 1 Twin Buckler Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard, Skills for skill, continue with Sentinel, second skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from your hand, discard it. So for Twin Buckler Dragon, it's a perfect guard for the Dragon Empire Nation. Like any other perfect guards in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding a card from your hand, you can block one enemy attack, but it also features an ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Twin Buckler a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Twin Buckler Dragon, you got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 1 Stealth Dragon, Tokashirashi, Skill, Auto. When this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, you may put this card into your soul. So for Tokashirashi, it's a pretty good card to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks. Its skill, when discarded from your hand during your turn, instead of going to the drop zone, it goes to the soul. So for this skill, it's a good way to let you build up your soul for later Soul Blast. So for Stealth Dragon Tokashirashi, we got 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, we're playing 3. Next up, the Grade 1 Hephaestio Dragon, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosts a Vanguard. If the boosted unit is standing, cost Soul Blast 2. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards, retire it. Choose one of your Vanguards, it gives plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Hephaestio Dragon, it's a pretty powerful card to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks, mainly with deck builds that focus on having restanding Vanguards, like the Dragonic Overlord series. For its skill, after boosting an attack from your Vanguard, after the battle, if your Vanguard is still standing, by paying the cost of Soul Blast 2, not only can you wipe out your opponent's front row rear guards, but to also give your Vanguard a little extra power to work with for its second attack. So for Hephaestio Dragon, we got 2 in the deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0 says deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 0, Lizard Runner Undo, Skill, Auto. When this unit is written upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Lizard Runner Undo, it's the starting unit's deck. Its skill, when written upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Lizard Runner Undo, we got 1 the right deck, leaving that way. Next up, the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing the Grade 0, Conduct Spark Dragon, Critical Trigger. We got 4 in the deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 0, Burning Flow Dragon, Critical Trigger, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units. It gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Burning Flow Dragon, it's a pretty powerful critical trigger to play your Dragon Empire Nation decks. Its skill, after boosting the attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, As long as you don't mind moving Burning Flare from your rearguard to your soul, you can give one of your other units, Vanguard or rearguard, plus 2000 power. Super Burning Flare Dragon is a good way to not only build up your soul for later soul blast, but to also give your remaining attackers on the field a little extra power to work with. Super Burning Flare Dragon, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 0 Flare Veil Dragon, draw trigger, skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5000 shield. Super Flare Veil Dragon is a pretty powerful draw trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks. Its skill, when used to guard with while your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can get plus 5000 shield, making Flare Veil a potential 10,000 point shield on its own. Super Flare Veil Dragon, you got 3 in the deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 0 Blazeman Rona heal trigger. We got 4 in the deck, taking 2 out. And next up, the Grade 0. The Grade 0 Stealth Fiend Amavira heal trigger, skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Activate if this battle is its second attack this turn or more. So for Stealth Fiend Amavira, it's a pretty powerful heal trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks for its skill. When used to guard against an attacking unit who has attacked 2 or more times in the same turn, your Amavira gets plus 15,000 shield, making Amavira a potential 25,000 point shield on its own. And this healed Guardian skill is a good way to fight off against opponents who play decks that specialize in restatting units for additional attacks. So for Stealth Fiend Amavira, we're putting 2 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Grade 0 Dragon Deity King of Resurgence Drag Vita over trigger, skill, trigger, additional effect. Choose one of your Vanguards and stand it. So for Drag Vita, it's the over trigger for the Dragon Empire Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card, but it also features a skill unique to it alone. Its skill, when revealed during a drop check on your turn, you can restand your Vanguard for another attack. So for Drag Vita, it's a very powerful skill for any Dragon Empire build. For its skill, merely lets you restand your Vanguard, giving you another Vanguard attack to work with, making it easier to pressure your opponent with, or to potentially finish them off by giving your Vanguard another chance to attack and to get the chance to get more triggers of the additional drive checks. So for Dragon Deity King of Resurgence Drag Vita, we got 1 in the deck, leaving that way. Alright, decks are built. Cardfight explains, let's just save the deck. Override deck being built. Yes. And for the cards in this deck we're playing, 4 Grade 3 Dragonic Overlord, 4 Grade 3 Dragonic Overlord DN, 1 Grade 2 Dragonite Harlem, 4 Grade 2 Berserk Dragon, 4 Grade 2 Steel Beloved Duststorm Ethan, 4 Grade 2 Burning Horn Dragon, 2 Grade 2 Perfect Burner Dragon, 4 Grade 1 Twin Buckler Dragon, 3 Grade 1 Stealth Dragon Togashi Rashi, 1 Grade 1 Embodiment of Armor Bar, 2 Grade 1 Ephestio Dragon, and 1 Grade 0 Lizard Runner Undo starting unit. And for the trigger lineup of this deck, we're playing 8 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger Drag Vita. Alright, deck's been built, card effects explained. Before we test out the deck, let's just change the deck sleeves. So going to change sleeves. For the sleeves in this deck we're using, let's see. For the main deck sleeves, I'm going to be using this Dragon Empire sleeve as the main deck sleeve, press A. And for the right deck sleeves, we're using the Dragonic Overlord, the end sleeves to the right deck sleeve, press Y. Okay. The deck has been built, card effects explained, and card sleeves changed. Now let's get on testing out the deck. So leaving the edit deck menu, return to the main menu, going to fight menu, selecting CPU fight, and choosing the deck I just built, the Dragonic Overlord D-BT05 deck. Alright, selecting deck, and now choosing an opponent. Alright, who would be a good opponent to test that out on? Who would be a good opponent to test that on? Okay, I think I'll use it against Noid Taito, normal difficulty, and the battle begins. Let's get started. And here we are in the fight, so selecting who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to rock, I lose, going second. And now drawing our starting hands. I got a draw trigger, a Berserk Dragon, a Hephaestio Dragon, an Overlord, and a Burning Horn Dragon. Not a bad hand, okay. I gotta hold on to the normal units to call and attack with, and also possibly Dragonic Overlord to Persona Ride with in case I fail to get the end in my hand. So I'm just gonna return the draw trigger and the draw. Yes, Togashirashi! Nice draw! Alright, my opponent's going first. He rides the Great One, Tamayura. Skill of his starting of his Great One. He's searching his deck for Twin Direful Dolls Rami. Adding to hand. And okay, that's the end of his turn. My turn, I draw. Alright, I ride for my right deck, Embodiment of Armor Bar. For the right deck cost, okay, I'm gonna ditch the Stealth Dragon Togashirashi for the right deck cost because its skill will let me move it to the soul to build up my soul. So I discard Stealth Dragon Togashirashi and write Embodiment of Armor Bar. Lizard Runner undo skill. I draw a card. I draw another Togashirashi. Nice. And the Togashirashi I discarded skill. Instead of going to the drop zone, it goes to the soul. Alright, that should be all I can do. So go into battle phase. My Vanguard goes to the Vanguard, AK. The attack goes through, drive check. Yeah, critical trigger, just what I needed. All effects to the Vanguard. And 2 damage to the opponent. And slash. Damage check first. Yes, front trigger, he wasted a trigger. And trigger effects wasted. Second check. No trigger, okay. That's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's going to ride to the Grade 2, Tamayura, skill of his Grade 2. Nothing happened, he calls Ririmi and Marami to his rear guards, using their skills to draw more cards. Okay, alright, he's got 10,000 from this side, 10,000 from his Vanguard, and 17,000 from this side. Okay, I think I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna block the first attack and let the remaining 2 go through. So I guard with a 5,000 point shield. I think I'm gonna guard the critical trigger, 23k. The attack is blocked. I'm safe. Okay, here comes my opponent's next attack from the Vanguard. 10,000. No guard, took the hit. And my opponent drive checks. No trigger, safe. And 1 damage to me. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Ethan. And next up, attack from the rear guard, 17k. No guard, gonna take the hit. Here comes the attack. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Burning Horn Dragon. Okay. That's the end of my opponent's turn. My turn, stand and draw. Okay. I ride for my right deck, Dragon and a Harlem. For the right deck cost, let's see. Okay, gonna discard Togashirashi to make use of its skill. I discard Stealth Dragon Togashirashi for the right deck cost. I ride Dragon and a Harlem. Togashirashi's skill. Instead of going to the drop zone, it goes to the soul. And now bar skill. I counterblast 1. And search my deck for a Great One. I search for... Okay, in my hand, the Great Ones I have is Hephaestio Dragon. I think that's all I need. So for the Great One I'm going to add to my hand, I'm adding Twin Buckler Dragon, a perfect guard. Add the hand. Next up, I'm calling. I call Burning Horn Dragon to the rear guard. Call Burning Horn skill. I counterblast 1 and check the top 7 of my deck for an Overlord card. Check. Ah, nothing. Come on. Seriously? Alright. Nothing is obtained, so I countercharge 1. Next, I call Berserk Dragon to the rear guard, call, and I call Steel Blood Duststorm Ethan to the rear guard, call, and Hephaestio Dragon, call. That should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, Berserk Dragon attacks the rear guard Rarami. He intercepts with Ririmi, okay, and the attack is blocked. Ririmi's skill, it goes to the soul, okay. Next up, Burning Horn Dragon attacks the rear guard Rarami. The attack goes through, and boom, 1 rear guard down. Now boosted by Hephaestio Dragon, Nehalem attacks the Vanguard, 18k. The attack goes through, drive check. Yes! Critical trigger! Nice one! All effects to the Vanguard. Power and critical. Now it's 2 damage to the opponent. And pierce! Damage check first. Yes! Front trigger, he wasted a trigger. Wasting the effect. And second check. No trigger, okay. Now I activate Ethan's skill. My Vanguard made a successful attack, so I retreat Ethan from my rear guard. And I draw 1 card. I drew a critical and countercharge, okay. End of turn, my opponent's turn. He rides the grade 3, Deepening Knight Tamayura. He calls Fudomaru and Tenshastet. Okay, let's see. Now I have a choice. Nope, wait, Tamayura is activating a skill. He's going to Superior Call Ririmi to the rear guard, okay. Now I have a choice. I only have 2 damage. I think I can afford to let my opponent's Vanguard go through, but if it goes through, he can activate Tenshastet's skill to secure himself a Persona right next turn. So do I dare to use my Perfect Guard for the first Vanguard attack? Or let him Persona ride and save up my hand? Tough choice. He has 3 cards in hand. I have to assume he doesn't have another grade 3 Tamayura to Persona ride with, so I better play it safe. I Perfect Guard the Twin Buckler Dragon, and for the Perfect Guard cost, I'm going to discard from my hand a critical trigger, Conduct Spark Dragon. I gotta hold on to the Persona ride and Perfect Burner to use their skills, so discard. My opponent Twin Drives, first check. Critical trigger, come on! Gives all effects to Fudomaru, okay. Second check. Oh, come on, double critical! He gives all effects to Fudomaru. What a nightmare! Here it comes. The attack is blocked, and now... Okay. My opponent's remaining attacker, Fudomaru, can attack for 37,000 power. I don't have enough cards in my hand to guard it. I'm at 2 damage, so no choice. I gotta use up my 1 trigger left to block the first attack, and just to let the 3 damage go through. So I guard with Burning Flail Dragon. Guard. And okay, the attack is blocked. Now here comes Fudomaru's attack. 37,000 power, 3 criticals. I can't guard it, so let the attack go through. No guard. Ow! Damage check first. Yes! Heal trigger. No! Wasted a heal trigger. I don't have enough damage to heal. I guess just waste the effect on my Vanguard. Second check. No trigger. And third check. Come on, something good. No trigger. Come on. Fudomaru's skill. He discards and draws. He discards a Perfect Guard. Why though? Does he have another Perfect Guard in hand? Well, whatever. I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Dragonic Overlord. For the right deck cost, I got... I got Twin Buckler, Perfect Burner, and Overlord. Tough choice. Do I give up Perfect Burner for soul building costs or Dragonic Overlord for Persona riding? Okay, this is a tough choice. I already have 4 cards in the soul, so I guess I can afford to give up Perfect Burner Dragon and to save Overlord in my hand for a Persona ride, so I discard Perfect Burner for the right deck cost and ride Dragonic Overlord. Next, Nalhalem's skill, Superior Call from the Soul to the rear guard. I call it to the back row over here. Next, I activate Nalhalem's skill, I Soul Blast 1. And give power to itself and Overlord. There we go. That should be enough. Alright. I think that's enough, so going to the battle phase. First up, boosted by Infestio Dragon, Overlord attacks Fudomaru, 26k. Skill, my opponent cannot guard cards from her hand. Burning Horn Dragon skill, plus 5,000 power. And, alright! Drive check first, perfect guard, nice. And second check. Yes! Draw trigger, just what I needed. I give, let's see. I'm gonna give all effects to my Vanguard, draw a card, I drew Berserk Dragon, not bad. And slash, one rear guard down, Overlord skill. I counterblast 1 and discard a card from my hand. Okay, gotta hold on the Persona Ride and the perfect guards to guard with, so I ditch either the draw trigger or Berserk Dragon. I already got Berserk in my rear guard, and Flare Veil can serve as a 10,000 point shield, so I'll ditch Berserk Dragon to restand my Vanguard. Now, Infestio's skill. I Soul Blast 2. And retire one of my opponent's front row rear guards. I retire Rear Me. And another 5,000 power to the Vanguard. And now Berserk Dragon attacks the Vanguard. Skill plus 5,000 power. And I'm gonna activate its Counter Blast to retire one of my opponent's rear guards. I retire Tensha Set, 15k. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage. Damage check. Critical trigger, come on! This timing! He gives all effects to his Vanguard, okay. Then Overlord attacks the Vanguard, 33k, 1 drive, Burning Horn skill, plus 5,000 power. And my opponent's going to double guard, 53k, over trigger to pass, drive check. Yes! Draw trigger! I draw a card, another perfect guard, nice! I give it all to Berserk to my Burning Horn Dragon, plus 10,000 power. And my attack is blocked, but now Burning Horn attacks the Vanguard, 30k. He guards the over trigger, nice! He has no more over triggers in his deck. And he guards. Okay, that's the end of my opponent's turn. He activates Tamayura's skill to call to add power and calls to his rear guard, Tsumugi and another Tensha set. Alright. He attacks the Vanguard, 26k. Skill of the Vanguard. He's going to Superior Call Tamayura, giving power, okay. I'm going to Perfect Guard. For the Perfect Guard cost, I'm going to discard 1 draw trigger for the cost. Yep, discarding 1 draw trigger. My opponent twin drives, first check, no trigger, and second check. No trigger, alright, safe. And the attack is blocked. And now the rear guard attacks the Vanguard. 22k. I guard a draw trigger. Skill plus 5,000 shield, making it 23k. Just enough. The attack is blocked. Okay, and now 1 more attack from the opponent. 15k from the Grade 2 Tamayura. Okay, I'm going to hold on to the cards in my hand. I'm going to intercept with Berserk Dragon. Intercept. That's 18k, just enough. Attack blocked. Okay, that's the end of my opponent's turn. Now it's my turn. I stand and draw. Yes, the end! Just what I needed. Lucky me. Alright, Cross Ride, Dragonic Overlord, the end! Cross Ride activated. Plus 5,000 power. And next I'm going to activate Nalhalem's skill. I Soul Blast 1 and give plus 5,000 power to itself and Overlord. Then I move Nehalem to the front row. My opponent has 3 cards in hand. I think I better risk it on this one last turn. I'm gonna call my 2 twin bucklers to the rear guard. Call and call. Alright, that should be enough. Going to the battle phase. First up, boosted by Hephaestio Dragon. The end attacks the Vanguard, 31k. Burning Horn skill plus 5,000 power. My opponent perfect guards, okay. He discards for the cost a Togashirashi, okay. Twin drive, first check. No trigger. And second check. Yes, over trigger. I give 100 million power to Nehalem and restand my Vanguard. The attack is blocked, and now the end attack one more time. Wait, not gonna activate the skill. The end attack the Vanguard, 23k. Burning Horn skill plus 5,000 power. The attack goes through, and twin drive first. No trigger, but a persona ride, nice. Second check. Yes, critical trigger. Just what I needed. Critical to the Vanguard. Power to burning. Wait, no, power to the Vanguard. All going to the Vanguard. Critical and power added. 33k, 2 crits, and here it comes. 2 damage to my opponent. And boom, 2 damage. First check. Heal trigger. Ah, lucky him. Okay, he heals 1 damage. Still got hope. 1 more damage. And yes, critical. He cannot heal. Trigger effects wasted. And that's 6 damage. I win. Alright. That was a pretty good match. The deck worked out pretty well for me. I got to try out the new cards and got to get some pretty decent triggers in the right timing. So, okay. I got win, perfect guarded, opponent double critical, opponent healed 6 damage, drew an over trigger, 6 turns passed, did a superior call, retired 5 more opposing units, drew 3 or more times in 1 turn. I got 2600 BP, total 12,625 BP. Press A to go next, and leaving the fight, returning to fight menu. And here we are back in the fight menu, leaving the fight menu, return to main menu, and back to the main menu, go to edit deck menu. And at that, the deck's been built, card effects explained, and I just finished testing out the deck in front of you. And so, with that, that's all the time we have for today. First off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you'll show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye, and see you all soon!